coming back to school with me. We could have done it all so easily.
Hi, my name is Craig Thompson Wood. I'm the board game teacher. Today I want to show you Stuffed Fables and how it's played. If only Timothy were here to play with me. Oh, and there he is. Asking you shall receive. So I know earlier in this month when I did the update episode, I mentioned that I was going to play a game with Timothy. And we were talking about Blocus, because at that time we were playing Blocus and he was really enjoying it. However, since that time I've discovered Stuffed Fables, and I have to tell you, I have never been so excited about a game which is more designed for kids as I am with Stuffed Fables. All that it offers and all that it's, how good it is for kids and, for families. And so I thought that, I would do this one because Timothy and I have been playing this one, and we've actually got through story 1 already, and we're going to be starting story 2, and Timothy was coming over today, so I thought maybe we'll tape it. So I'll be just having the camera sort of looking over top of what we're doing. Bear with me as I only have the one iPad for recording, so I'm not going to be able to do any sort of fancy camera shots or anything like that, but we'll make do with what we can. So let's get to the table. Alright, so we just finished the setup here for Stuffed Fables, and I just want to sort of say that I will be doing a full review on this one in the near future, but for now Timothy and I are just going to start with the playthrough, and you can maybe get a sense of how it plays. So at the beginning of every story you're going to have a introduction to the story. In this case now we have it's called Wedding Go. So this is a story about the little girl who the Stuffies are all working to protect is being potty trained and trying to make sure that she doesn't wet her bed at night. So I'll read the following story, and I'll remind Timothy that he needs to sit down and listen quietly if he wants to listen. If he wants to play. Alright, so Mommy and Daddy gave each other nervous grins in the hallway when they left the little girl's room. And Mommy held up crossed fingers for luck. "She can do it," whispered Daddy. "I know she can." "Here's hoping," said Mommy, "but still I'm going to have spare sheets ready just in case." Inside her bedroom, the little girl held Theodora up in front of her and gave the bear a playful spin. "This is it, Thea," whispered the little girl proudly. "No diaper. Take a look." And the little girl pointed to the teddy's face to her new big girl underwear. "I went potty with Mommy before bed. These are my new undies, and they're fancy, and I don't want to make a mess. No mess tonight." The little girl was very pleased with her achievement. After her bath, she pulled her underwear on all by herself. She had even interrupted Daddy's television show with a gleeful wiggle dance. Now she snuggled up with Theodora, a big smile on her little face. She was proud, excited, and more than a little nervous about the night going smoothly. She fell asleep. Outside her room, the sounds of Mommy and Daddy's television show soon faded away. The lights in the house were turned off one by one. Everything was quiet. 2 overlarge bunny ears sprang up in attention. "What's that noise?" Flops wondered aloud. "Oh no, a noise!" squealed Lumpy, sitting up. Half his face was squished funny from lying on it all day. "I don't hear a thing," said Stitch. "What are those bunny ears of yours picking up, Flops?" "Oh, it's probably nothing," said Flops, waving off any concern. "It sounds like some water running is all." "That's not good," said Theodora, gently wriggling her way out of the little girl's bed. "Look at her diaper." "Good heavens!" Stitch exclaimed with a jump. "What have we got here? Fancy new undies and no diaper?" "The diaper," Lumpy hissed. "It's been stolen." No, my good elephant," Stitch corrected. "I dare say we're witnessing the first night of potty training." "It's true," Theodora said. "Tonight is the big night, but the sound of running water could ruin everything." "I witnessed a bedwetting once," Stitch said softly, his voice distant. "I was the lucky one that night, but my friends Chippy and Jelly, well," and Stitch placed a hand over his heart. "Some gave all," he whispered. "I'm too young and pretty to get wet," Lumpy insisted. "I was already the victim in the great upchucking last summer. I can't face another kind of action like that again." "We've got to turn the water off," Theodora said, paws on her hips. "Everyone prepare for an expedition." "Agreed," said Stitch. "And I find the running water more than a little suspicious. What are the odds Mommy and Daddy would go to sleep with water running on the same night as their little girl has no diaper?" "Flops, where's the sound coming from?" asked Theodora. "The bathroom," said Flops. "That's got to be the tub." So now it tells us we need to gather discovery cards for this story. and without looking at them, place them in a face-down stack near the play area. So they're over here. In this story, Piggy and Lionel, 2 characters, are not available. We haven't met them yet. So now we are to turn to the next page. And this is where it gets really cool, because here is the map for the game, and it shows us different locations and points of interest on the board. And then it tells us how to set things up based on the thing here. So we're going to start off at 19-1. So let me fast forward now as I finish setting up this part of the board with where we need to be. Okay, so we're all set up now. Now I'm going to read the following section here. They slid off the bed like true professionals and crept into the darkened hallway. Flops took the lead as scout, and Theodore and Stitch followed after. Lumpy crept behind them, teeth chattering in fright. Maybe we should stay behind and guard our girl, he suggested. Steady, Lumps, Theodore said. If something sinister is going on, we need your muscle. They could hear water running from around the corner. It wasn't a rush of water, but rather a lazy gurgling and dripping sound, as if somebody wanted a wet bed. They had set it up perfectly. Any sign of parents? Whispered Theodora to the group. Nothing so far, answered Stitch. I hope they aren't wetting their bed, said Lumpy. The group gave a giggle. Let's stay focused, Theodora cautioned. Suddenly, from farther down the hallway, the clanging of pans from the dark kitchen. Parents? Stitch asked. But Flop shook her head. I saw a shadow running out of there, but it was smaller, our size. Okay, gang, said Theodore. Let's investigate. So it tells us to set up the stuffies, which Timothy's already done. And then the stuffies are always set up on that spot with the paw print. We're all adjacent to that. And place an objective token on every space marked with a star, which I've done. Gear up now. Each player searches the item deck for a weapon of his or her choice with the keyword study and equips it. So we're going to look through this deck here of equipment, and it says accessory, household, pause, accessory, 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 pause, 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 head, accessory, household, kitchen. So it has to say study. I'll pull out all the study ones, and then we'll choose our starting equipment. So there's a study. Okay, so which weapons would you like? You're going to take, okay, so he's going back with old number 2 and the rubber bands. Those are the weapons that Timothy used in the first one. Worked out very well for us.
Yep. Because Flops is good with the rubber. Wait, where's my friend?
Okay, so here's scissors, and I like this one. If you're rolling for dice for movement, every 6 loses you 1 stuffing if you have scissors, because, you know, you shouldn't be running with scissors.
Yeah, only for kids. Don't use big ones. Only for kids.
Mm-hmm. And even with those ones, you should be running around.
Do you even know I'm talking?
Oh, we got a raccoon. Okay, and so I think I'm going to avoid those nasty scissors. I'm going to just shuffle that one back into the deck here. So Theodora will have the letter opener and Lumpy the magic marker. So while on this page, when the player performs a search action, instead of drawing a card from the items deck, look through the items for a card of his or her choice with the household. So we can find anything with household in here, but it's a 6 search. So I'm not going to go into rules explanations here. I'm just going to play and explain things as they happen. So we're going to need to turn off the faucets. To turn a faucet off, we must be on an objective token. So we have to be on one of the stars. And then when the first time we turn off a faucet, we have a special thing to read. Okay, so let's not peek ahead. Let's go right to it. All right. So, who's going to start, Timothy? Maybe Theodora or Lumps, because we're in the front there.
Okay.
Theodora's braver than Lumps. So every turn we're going to draw 5 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, so I've got 2 black ones. The black ones are dice you don't want. So once we get equal to or greater than the number of stuffies in play, which is 4 here, then we're going to trigger something bad that happens. So nothing yet, but so Lumps is just going to run ahead. So I'll use the green dice for running, and you can use any of the dice to move. And so I'll move 3. So he'll go 1, 2, 3. and then that goes into a group pool here. And then the purple dice, they're sort of more pinkish in hue, which is for color blindness. Is wild, and so I can use that as anything. Yellow is a search one, and remember I wanted a 6 to search. So, but I can use them together and combine the results in this. If I want to, if I have more than one. And the good thing I did, so I got my 6. So I can search for anything marked household. Now Lumpy doesn't have a weapon, so I'm going to find a weapon for him. I'm going to give Lumpy the meat mallet, not only because he's equipped with it in the picture, but also I just like the effects on it. When he defeats a minion with it, he can gain a stuffing. So he just beats the stuffing out of them, literally. Alright.
What about Flop's plunging?
Yeah, we haven't found that bow and arrow set yet, have we?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's over to you now, Timothy. So now Timothy's going to draw 5 dice for one of his characters. There we go. Those are some good dice. Okay. And so, how do you want to use those?
Yeah. I don't know.
And who is this? This is Flops. Okay. So you can use them for moving, for searching. So green is what they call agility dice. Purple is the luck or the wild dice if you want to use it for anything else. And red, which is more of an orangey hue, again for those colorblind people, it's easier to see. These red ones are for melee or in strength for coming up. So you want to just move fast. Okay, so Flops is going to move fast. 8. So Timothy's able to move 8 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you can go diagonally, so you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Flops is racing ahead to this spot. So this is our first location where we're going to read the next part of the story once we reach there. Okay. Now you have 2 green. You have these dice here. Now, one thing they can do in a turn is you can encourage, and to encourage somebody, you give them one of your dice. Can you give that to Lumpy? Tell Lumpy, hold his hand. Tell him it's going to be okay. We'll just get rid of the. Maybe you can hold on to one of those red dice because you'll need a red dice to climb up.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay.
How about Stitch?
Want to give one to Stitch too?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll put those dice to the side. And then it's time for
You
Theodora to
know
go.
who can carry a lot?
1,
Flops, 'cause
2,
he has a
3,
bag.
4, 5. Okay, so I've got a mix of dice here. So the blue dice are for defense and it's just resisting attacks. The white dice are for stuffing. So right now we all have 5 stuffing. So Theodora's just going to roll. So if I roll a 5 or higher, I get to take 1 more stuffing. So I rolled a 6. So Theodora gets another stuffing. There's no limit to the amount of stuffing you can get. I get high though. So that dice is gone. Okay, so any dice can be used for movement. So I'm going to use the 2 dice here for Theodora. We just need to get moving over there. So I'm going to use the 2 dice, and she's not, doesn't seem to be in a very big hurry. She's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go there just so that way I'm out of Stitch's way in case he's faster than me. So she's coming there. And maybe, you know what, maybe once we get through here, maybe she'll come and turn off that tap there. Now, Theodora has a special ability that says once per turn, I can swap one of the dice for another dice. So I'm going to swap out this dice for a pink one, or purple rather, and now I can try and roll for that search there. Yuck, only 4, so she didn't find anything. Okay, and now it's on to Stitch.
Ay, ay, ay.
What you got? 4, and then 1 more black dice. Not good. Okay, so roll those up. No, sorry. What are you going to do with them? So first off, we have the stuffing. Stuffing always has to be done first. So roll for your stuffing. Nothing. That's again, no stuffing for you. All right, so you've got those. Now you need to move before you can do anything useful. So which ones are you going to use to move? That one. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So stitches coming down. Alright, and are you going to search with these then? No. Timothy only rolled a 3. Man, we're doing terribly with those searches.
Yeah.
Okay, and we go back to Lumpy.
Lumpy.
Uh,
Ay, ay, ay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have a fourth one here. So we have 4 dice on our threat track here, and so there's 4 stuffies in play. When these dice equal or exceed the number of stuffies in play, you take all these dice, you put them back in the bag. Now, if there was minions out here, that would mean that the minions would activate. They'd start attacking us, but there's no minions, so we go to a surge. And the surge here says that we're going to reveal a sleep card. So these are the sleep cards, and they represent the little girl sleeping. We want to make sure that we finish this story, the whole story, before she wakes up. So there's a set of these cards, and one of the last 3 cards are the little girl waking up. And so that's what we want to avoid, is her waking up before we're done. So we reveal a sleep card, and it says Restless. So Restless here says the little girl mumbles in her sleep, and a little hand gropes blindly for her teddy. Theodora lets out a tugging on her heart for her heart. Oh dear, she whispers, and was quickly overcome with worry. Place a worried status card on Theodora. So Theodora can feel the little girl reaching for her in her sleep. So Theodora is now worried. So I'm getting a worried status for Theodora, which isn't a good thing. We're hoping to avoid that. So if this stuffy has a purple die stored, discard it. The stuffy cannot use or store purple dice. Remove the status by passing a blue skill test, difficulty 4, or by an adjacent stuffy passing a blue skill test, difficulty 2. So Theodora is concerned now for the little girl. Alright, so Lumpy has 2 white dice, so he's going to hold on. So once per turn on your turn, you may swap one of your attribute dice for an attribute die in the discard pool. So attribute dice are these dice here. So, and there is nothing in the discard pool anymore because we had the threat level go too high. So he's going to roll, and he gets 9. So he exceeds his number of stuffing. So you have to equal to or exceed. So he gets 1 more stuffing. So those go in there. And then the last 2, I guess Lumpy is just going to run. So 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as soon as he reaches this eyeball space, he has to stop. When we reach the eyeballs, they have a number beside them. You read the appropriate passage. So it says here, the light was in the bathroom and long moving shadows played about. There was no doubt, something suspicious was afoot. You look at your feet and find that you are standing in water and you are absorbent. Feet are soaking it up. Peering through the doorway, you see one of the minions snickering a hissing laugh as it played with the knobs on the bathroom sink. Put the water environment card into play. So we have environment cards. So right now we have walls and barriers to show that, where the walls are. But now we also have the water environment in play. So the water environment says, when a stuffy enters a water space, place a soggy status card on it. When moving from a non-water space to a water space, the stuffy must stop its move immediately. Spend 1 attribute die to move from one water space to another. Okay, so he's not. Oh, so that is the space there. So he's in a water space. So he is now soggy. So Lumpy is now soggy. Draw 1 fewer dice from the bag during the stuffy's turn. Draw a step. So I'm going to draw 4. I cannot become scorched, and I remove this status at the end if I do not occupy water during that turn. Okay. So I guess these would be the water spaces here. There, and there are all water spaces. Okay, so that's Lumpy's turn. Those go over there, and now it's your turn. It's Flops' turn. Nice. Okay, and Flop saved a red dice to move up there too. So, okay, so which ones are you going to use to move? So 10. Now, actually, why don't you just roll 1, because as soon as you enter that water space, you're going to be stuck. 6. So you can go 1. You go 1, and you're stuck. So that's that one done. Because it says as soon as you enter the water space, you get stuck and you become soggy.
And you're too heavy.
Well, you're because you're soaking up all the water with your feet because you're made out of cloth. Okay, so you are now
stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Stitch, he gets heavy from the holes. The water gets into.
It's all
Stitch.
into him. Yeah. Sometimes water plus the socket said water space. Sometimes smooth immediately. One answer type to water space. Okay, so now you have all these dice. You have these other 4 dice now, plus you have the one there. So now you need to spend 1 dice to move 1 space now. It's going to be harder to move. So which tap does Flops want to turn off? That one? Okay, so spend 1 dice. So we'll take the blue one, and you're going to go to there.
But if we look there, one of the minions will pop out.
Don't know. Okay, and another dice. Okay, yeah, maybe use the yellow dice first in case minions do pop out. Okay, and so where are you going to go? Do you want to still go for that one? So there. And now, to come up here, you're going to need to use your red dice, which you saved. You saved that for yourself. So now you come up there, and now you can use 1 more dice to just go onto there, and you turn off the tap on the sink. Okay, so now we read this. The minions leaped out of the shadows, a large, gaping, heart-sized hole in its chest, and it snarled. Good gravy, gasped Stitch, and Lumpy let out a high-pitched screech. Bad guy, yelled Theodora. He's not alone, Flops hollered, readying her bow. 2 more of the monsters hissed from the shadows at the end of the hall, then vanished into the bathroom.
We already are in the bathroom.
Oh, well, we went there first, yeah, so...
And then they vanished into there?
Maybe they vanished into that room. Maybe they expected us to get that one first.
Oh. Our bad.
Yeah. No. So sometimes you do things your own way. So there's minions. Okay, so generate an encounter of 3 dark hearts. Place 1 dark heart adjacent to the stuffy that turned off the faucet, and place the other dark hearts on objective tokens. So the dark hearts. Now, keep in mind that when you get this game, you are not going to get the miniatures painted. Like all the painted miniatures you see with here now are what I've done. So these are the dark hearts. They're little, look like they used to be teddies, but they're a burnt heart out of the center. So, excuse me, Timothy. So we have 3 dark hearts in our area now. So we're going to set this up. So I'm going to just turn these over until I find dark hearts. So there's 1, 2. It's a crawly, dark heart. Okay, and we got lucky because there's 4 dark hearts and one of them is a leader. So, but we got the 3 normal dark hearts. Not the leader. The leaders are a little bit tougher. So we have 1 dark heart that has to start next to the person who turned on the tap, and the other ones are on objective spaces. So they are on those stars now.
Because that one came out of the hallway and that one came out of the water.
Mm-hmm. Now, Flops is next to Flops still has 2 dice.
So I can hit it?
You can hit it because green is for shooting your bow. And you get +1 when you shoot your bow at a monster. So 5 +1 is 6, and oh man, these guys are nasty. They have a 7.
So we can't beat them.
No, no, you need 2 dice to beat them.
Again?
No, you don't have any more. Okay, so that yellow dice won't is for looking. You can roll that dice see if you find anything. You need a 6 to find something. Well, I guess if you roll a 6 on the dice and then +1 with your rubber band, then you can get the 7 to beat it. Otherwise, you're gonna need 2. Okay, so roll this. If you roll a 6 with this one, you can find an item. No, so that's nothing. Oh goodness. Okay, so now it is Theodora's turn. Theodora's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so Theodora is going to roll 2 dice for her stuffing, and she gets 1 more.
Remember on my first day doing this?
What about it?
I bounced the heads of the crawlies.
Oh yeah, you killed a bunch of crawlies, didn't you?
Yep.
All right, so let's see. I'm going to, because I really just want to get in there and make sure I'm getting. Well, I'm also going to need a 6. My letter opener gives me a +1.
When you bounce on this one, when you hit this one, it bounces on the other 3.
So, you know what, I think I'm going to get rid of my worried status effect. I'm going to roll both dice and add them together, so I just need to beat 4 with 2 dice. So I got it. So she's no longer worried, so I can get rid of that. And then I'm just going to use this dice to move forward into the water here. So now Theodora has become soggy. Okay. And now it's over to Stitch.
Ay, ay, ay.
Okay, so we have 2 there.
Oh no.
If we get 1 more, then these dark hearts are going to attack. Okay, so this is Stitch now. So what's Stitch going to do? Now Stitch, remember his pencil is a ranged weapon. So he can throw that pencil like a javelin, and he can hit this thing. Because remember, you can use green for your ranged attacks, but you can also use the purple because it's wild, so you can use both together.
To bounce on it twice.
Well, no, we did that before because they were in a group. These guys are all spread out. So this one is just 1 attack, so but it's a strong attack.
When you hit on one of them, it bounces on the other, but only when they're on the group. On 2 more.
So you got 8, and it's a range of 3, so you take that guy out. So when you beat a minion, you get a button, which is like a currency for buying stuff later for your brave deed. Alright, so Stitch took that guy out.
Yeah.
And now you have 1 more dice, the yellow dice, so you can maybe use that to search, or do you want to use it to move?
Search.
Search, okay.
Hey.
Nothing.
Yes,
There.
yes.
Alright, so we go back to the top of the round, and we're looking at Lumpy.
Lumpy.
Lumper. Now Lumpy is soggy, so he's only getting 4 dice now. So 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, that's bad. And 4. Lumpy, you're horrible.
Oh my God, Lumpy.
So those 2 dice come in, which means the minions attack. We're going to look here. Oh, actually,
Take one away.
yeah, that was so. The minions all have shapes on the bottom. So we have our pentagon minion and our octagon minion. So the square minion was the one that was defeated, so we can remove him.
Yep.
Okay, and so now this minion is going, and he rolls a 5, which means he's doing a spooky screech. So that's the pentagon one. This is here. So target the farthest stuffy within range, and he's got a range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's going to hit Lumpy with this.
Oh no.
And does 5 damage. And Lumpy has Pink saved, so he'll use that as a defense. So he can roll this
So
to
he
see
can-
how much defense he can
Or
resist.
he could dodge it or
So
hit it.
he takes 4 damage.
He could hit it or dodge it,
1,
right?
2, 3, 4. No, he can only try to avoid. So he's now use this ability after rolling dice for Lumpy. You may reroll 1 or more blue dice. You must keep your second one out. Even though I was rolling this as a blue dice for defense, it's not blue, so I can't use this ability to re-roll that. And so that's him done.
He's dead. Is he?
Nope.
Eh.
And now this next one, he does a 2, a haunting gibberish. If a stuffy loses stuffing from this attack, place a worried status token on that stuffy. Okay, so this one is here, and he has a range of 5, so he can move 3. 1, 2. So he's just gonna attack Flops from here. So Flops doesn't have any defense, so Flops is taking 4 damage.
No.
1, 2, 3,
No, I have one more.
4. Yeah, we're getting beaten up by these guys now.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you
It's the
take
first
all
time
these
using.
and
The
put them
first
back in the
time
bag
I
again.
use it. Except this one. He has more than everybody. A lot of us are dying, right?
Yeah, okay, so now it's Lumpy's turn. So Lumpy will roll this for some stuffing. He gets 1. And then he will use this green dice. I guess he'll be as brave as he can be and just move in there with his 1 green dice. Oh, must be out. He was green and white up there. Okay, and now it's Flop's turn. Oh no. Okay, so Flops can roll that for some more stuffing.
Yeah, because he only got 1.
Yeah, so you get 1 stuffing automatically. Okay, and then you have these. So you can roll those both together, and that will for sure.
Which one goes together?
Those 2 together, and that will help you to beat this minion here. Because the purple's wild, and you get 6. You need a 7. Do you get any pluses? Well, you need to know. It says here when performing a ranged attack, add +1 to green die results. So you got 6 plus 1 for your rubber bands, 7. And 7, and even if you didn't, Flops can always re-roll green dice. That's Flops' special ability, but you hit. So, you got that one.
Did he fall off?
Yeah, he's fallen off.
And then all his stuffing fell off of
He's
him.
got moldy stuffing.
His moldy stuffing fell
Yeah.
off of him. Hey, I get money. I get 2 monies.
Okay, next. Oh, now so those dice, you still have a yellow. If you can roll a 6, you get another item.
Yeah.
No, you got the opposite of the 6. All right, and now it's time for Theodora.
I'm big now.
1, 2, 3, 4. She's soggy. Soggy. So she's going to roll for stuffing.
Wait.
No.
Flaps is too.
Flops is soggy. Yeah, we can't. Nothing we can do about that now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Theodora. No, don't bend the cards, please. Theodora. Now, what you can do is you can always spend 1 of your dice to give 1 of your stuffing to another player. So I'm going to give 1 stuffing to Flops because I'm worried about poor Flops there.
Yeah, because he's dying.
Yeah. And then Theodora will roll this dice for movement and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there, and then use the last dice to move into here. So Theodora wants to be brave and come help save the stuffies in the bathroom because that minion is nasty.
There's only one. What about Stitch? He's all alone in the
Okay.
hallway.
Now, I can.
There's only one more left. Which is good.
Okay.
Only
Now for
4.
Stitch. Only no, Stitch is not soggy. Stitch just 5. Okay, so the minions are going to attack, or the minion.
The minion. They're so easy to defend. Except the boss is
Not really.
not the boss, right?
Okay, so the minion. Oops. We'll just roll 1 dice. We should have rolled the black dice for the minion to see his attack. So he's doing a 3, which is haunting gibberish, and so he is going to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's the same either way. Oh, you know what? Theodora should have saved her blue dice for. Okay, so well, Lumpy collapses from the gibberish attack. Oh, and actually, you were wounded by that thing, so now you are worried.
Yep.
Flops is worried. Okay, so when Stuffy collapses, you draw a card. So it's another restless card. So the little girl reaching around looking for Theodora, and, crying out for her, is making Theodora worried.
And soggy.
And soggy. She's not a very happy teddy bear right now. All right, Stitch, you're gonna go turn off that tap.
Okay.
So pick 1 dice and roll for movement. 3. So you're gonna go 1, 2, and you're stuck there.
1.
Okay, and now use 1 more dice to move. Okay, well you just spend the dice. So you go there. You turn off that tap.
Oh, there's a tap there.
Yeah, I guess it's another room or something. So, but everywhere there's stars, we have to go.
Oh, so there was another bathroom there.
Mm-hmm. And
No, Stitch is soggy. No, what is
okay, and now what are you gonna do with these
This is
ones?
a soggy card because he's soggy.
Okay, so you can move 1, and then you can roll that to move again.
What?
Okay, so you come into there. Okay, and Stitch is soggy
Oh no! Why is he falling down?
because the
Oh, no, he's dead.
minion hit him.
He's dead.
I've collapsed. They call it collapsed. He's not dead because he'll come back again. All right,
Collapsed?
now.
He fell down.
Lumpy's down, so now it's Theodora's turn.
Theodora's.
Sorry, Flops' turn.
There you go.
Wow, excellent. Because what you can do, you can use all of these, because they're all the same color, to use your range attack on the minion. Let's just
For
get rid of it.
revenge.
Yeah.
Die!
You got mad that he killed your buddy Flops. Killed your buddy Lumpy. Lumpy went down. Okay, and now do you want to use the yellow?
What, he was aiming the wrong way. See?
Yeah.
Aimed the wrong
So,
way.
yellow dice, do you want to use the yellow for searching, or do you want to move?
Move.
Okay, well, if you're moving, you just move 1 space like that. Okay, and then Theodora's turn. So
I
that
have to
one's
get out
that's
of the
done.
off of the faucet. The only one who has a target. Look, I'm like a
1,
turret,
2,
right?
3, 4.
I always put this one first behind. So you can get
Okay, so Theodora gets another stuffing.
one.
She has so much stuffing.
Yep. Oh my
And then she's going to go there with the 1 dice, and there with the other dice.
To stop faucets.
Yeah,
They
so she's
kept it on.
okay. And Stitch. So he's drawing 4.
Running out. Ay, ay, ay. If we get it,
Okay.
if I'm they're gonna save it. If we get, if an ambush to us, right?
Yeah. Do you want to move with this dice, or do you want to search with it?
Move.
Move? Okay, so well, if you move, you're just here. So that's the only place you can go. Okay, and then we're going to go back to flops.
Oy, oy, oy.
No, you pulled too many. It's only 4, remember. You're soggy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was stuck. I'm
Well, actually,
a lot of
you saved a red dice on Stitch, so Stitch can come up here.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 dice.
Stuffing first.
Yeah. So do you want to roll 1? If you roll 1, you can make it 2 stuffing. Okay, so you roll 2. So you get 1 stuffing.
Yay.
Go away.
He's living again.
And
He's stuck there.
do you want to? Now you're worried, so you can't use the pink dice. The purple dice. So, cannot use or store purple dice. Maybe you can encourage somebody with that, though.
Uh-huh.
Maybe encourage Theodora.
Yep.
Okay. And then you can move down with that 1 dice. And
Why is Flop so worried?
1, 2, 3, 4. Because you got hit by that attack, that gibberish attack by the minion. Okay, so Theodora. She can't get more stuffing. So she's worried. I'm going to use the blue to get rid of my worried. Yes, my worried is gone. And then I will use my green dice to go there, and I'll read number 2. The tub was filled to the brim with water. Using a roll of toilet paper as a step, you climbed the side of the tub. But water had sloshed up over it, and the porcelain was slippery. With a cry, you fell with a loud kersplash. Pulling out the stopper requires a red strength group roll, task difficulty 13. Stuffies can only contribute to this group task if they are on the bathtub and if the faucets have been turned off. Okay, so we want to drain the bathtub now. So I don't have any more dice, so I'm done. So now it's Stitch. Stitch is pulling 4. He has to turn off that tap first. Actually, I'll roll this as a red, so I'll go 5 there. So this becomes part of a group task now. We have to add up our dice to equal 13 is the roll.
4. Ay, ay, ay.
Okay, so not good. So we're
Oh
getting...
no!
Well, okay, so you're just going to move there and you shut off the tap now. That was a terrible pick, Timothy. Terrible.
Daddy boy!
Okay, so all the dice go back in the bag.
I thought we could just pull 4. 5.
And we draw another card. So the girl is sleeping. We've gone through 3 cards in 1 mission. That's no good. Okay, flops. Get up here. 4 dice. Okay. So why don't you use these to get rid of your... So, yeah, roll for stuffing first.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get another stuffing.
So he's living again.
He's living again. And why don't you roll those to get rid of your worried? You need blue dice to get rid of worried. Yep, you got it. You needed 4 and you got 4.
Yep.
And why don't you see if you can find anything with that one? No.
No.
Okay, Theodora.
We have. How do
1,
we?
2, 3, 4. This is no good.
How did we not? How did we not? Not go
Okay,
to the
Theodora's
other?
just... The green dice are useless, and I can't even... I can encourage somebody with them, but it's not really helpful. And her ability to swap dice in the pool, but there's nothing in the pool to use. So that was really awful. Okay, Stitch.
Ran out.
Wow, that's awful, Timothy. Stop that. Okay, now roll those 2 dice.
Yeah.
So you got 7 plus my 5 is 12. And the difficulty here is dun 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 dun.
Done.
A group task. The bathtub. Difficulty 13. Oh, Timothy, why does that have to be a 1? Okay. Flops. Okay, that's another card.
Sleeping still, which is good.
Okay, so you can come up, but then that's all you can really do. Okay,
Yeah.
because you need the red dice to move up. Okay, Theodora.
We're stuck. Right?
We are stuck.
One.
Okay, so Theodora is going to trade in one of the yellow dice for the red dice, and not that it matters. So we pulled the plug out of the bathtub. Okay, with a great heave, the soggy stuffies strained until their stitches were about to burst, and finally the stopper opened free, but up from the drain came a sickly purple glow that was all too familiar to the stuffies. "That light," Lumpy exclaimed, "is just like the one we saw under the big girl bed." There was a great gurgling noise as the water in the tub began to drain, and the stuffies felt the pull of a terrible suction. "Get back!" Theodora cried, but the power of the strange purple glow was sucking water down with such force that the terrific whirlpool began to form. The stuffies struggled to make it to the edge of the tub, but soon they were plucked away and falling hopelessly as they circled down the drain. Only Lumpy was able to make a decent lunge for the side of the tub, but the tub was too slippery for him to get a good grip. Soon they were pulled down, one by one. Pop! They each were sucked down the drain. When the last of them was gurgled away, the sickly glow faded, leaving no sign of the stuffies. Each stuffy that contributed 1 or more dice to this group task gained 1 heart. So, Theodora and Stitch gained 1 heart for helping with that task.
No flops or
No, Flops didn't give any dice in the stuffing, and he had collapsed. So we had a really rough time on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to move on now to the next part of the story. So you turn the page, and we find that the stuffies are now down in the power of tears.
Why tears?
Because we're crying, so we're not doing well.
Power of tears, and the river is now made of tears.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're in the power of tears, so take a moment here to set up and then fast forward through that and we'll get back to you. Alright, so there's the setup for the new one, and let me read the story that goes with it. So first off it says return all the dice except those that are stored on characters, but we didn't have any stored dice.
Whoa.
All that's back into the bag. Okay, there was darkness and the terrible sensation of being submerged in water when suddenly the stuffies found themselves falling through the open air once more, the smoggy night sky of the fall offering little light. "No, no, no," Flop screamed, "not again!"
Wait, story 3?
Yep, no, still story 2. This is just part of story 2. "Brace yourselves," Theodora called out to them. "We're going to lose some stuffing on this one." Lumpy only gave a single high screech that did not end. But luck was in their favor, and they fell towards a large body of water. With only great kerplooshes, they landed safely. One by one, the stuffies came back up to the surface. They appeared to have fallen into a large reservoir. A strong current pulled them towards a stone dam. Stitch yelled something, but the dam's floodgates were open, and no one could hear him above the roar of the crushing water. They fought bravely against the current's pull, but each of the stuffies shot through the gates and tumbled down cascading falls. Boom, pop, flip, thud. The stuffies bounced off a wooden water wheel near the base of the waterfall, and with a final cry plunged into the rolling river below. Flop seemed to be having a great time. "Whee!" she screamed into the night. The others did not agree. "I'd like off this ride now," groaned Stitch. Look out, everyone, Lumpy cried. Up ahead, jagged, broken toys stuck up from the water like angry teeth. We need to swim to safety, Theodore yelled out. Everyone follow me. Reveal a sleep card.
Oh, still sleeping.
Well, that's good. So we place the stuffies. We put these tokens here. This indicates a member of the Lost, which are lost toys, and we can interact with them.
Yep.
Generate a random encounter. So we put all of these minions back in. Who's this? No, these crawlies too. In the... So when it says generate a random encounter, we just take all of these cards with the minions. And we put one there. So we have a dark heart, a normal dark heart. This is the pentagon one. And where does he go? Okay, so you can go there. So we'll give Lumpy one stuffing back to start, plus, Theodora had that wasted turn where she could have given him one of her stuffings. So we'll start him with 2 and go on from there. So we have the dark heart down here. And maybe we'll put the dark heart up here.
What about the boss? The boss. What about the boss dark heart?
Okay, well, there's no... The leader, he didn't come up. It just says normal again. Alright, so special rules. Rushing water. When a player draws a threat die, before placing it on the threat track, roll. On a 1 to 3, move all the figures 1 space in that direction of the water's flow. On a 4 to 6, move them 2 spaces. If it was blocked by an obstacle, then we must stop. If we get swept off the edge of the map, then we reveal a sleep card and then go to the next section. So the water is rushing down here. We want to get out of the water before we're swept away. So let us begin. So now these hearts that we gained, that Stitch and Theodora gained here, say that we can use, we have different abilities on our cards that we can pay the heart to use in certain cases. So Theodora is, I'm assuming she's flying in water, she's still going to be soggy. So, 3, 4, this is terrible. Okay, so...
Terrible.
So we are moving with the water 4 spaces. So she goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and to there.
They were stuck there, right?
Yeah.
They got stuck. So which is good for them, except them, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Theodora's hit the bicycle. And this is also going to trigger the dark heart. So the dark heart attacks. So he is a 3, so the haunting gibberish. So he's going to hit Theodora with that for 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Should I find the bicycle?
Let's just see what happens. So those are going back into the bag. And she's worried again. This is all the gibberish that he's speaking. So she's going to search. Nothing. And the blue, she's going to say for, she's going to give to Lumpy.
How are we all going to get the soggy off?
We have to get out of water and stay out of water.
Forever?
Okay, yeah. So now I'm at the bicycle. So it says the rusty remains of a bicycle were embedded ominously in the surging water. Looking ahead, you saw the river was littered with even more dangerous obstacles. The river raged and smashed against these hazards as if it dares you to draw close. You quickly reached out and clung to the rusty frame, and you discovered you were not alone. Tiny dolls, no more than 7 inches high, were also clinging to the bike. They had squat little faces and bright shock of hair that stood up in cute little points. "Well, hello there," you said. "Can you help us?" one of the dolls begged. our home under the bridge up yonder was washed away in the flood. So we can choose one of the following. If you ignore their pleas, do we want to ignore them or do we want to help them?
Help them.
Help them, okay. So if you throw the dolls to the river's edge, make a green agility skill test, difficulty 3. Okay, so I can't do that now. Okay, so it's Flops' turn. 4 dice. Okay, so you rolled a 2 on that one, so we're going forward 1. Okay, and then you have those dice. So, no, wait. So, what are you going to do with it?
I'm going to do this for a green.
What are you going to do with the green?
I don't know.
Well, you have to think about these things.
Block, save.
Well, what about getting rid of this guy?
Okay, I'll bite him.
You need 2 dice to beat him. 2 dice. You need the other dice. So, Timothy, you have a 2. Remember, he's a 7. You can't beat him with 1 dice. It's really hard. Roll 2. You can roll this one as well. 7 plus 1, 8. So you got him.
Yay!
So getting rid of these nasty
What
minions.
about these top ones? What about this?
Well, you have to move there. So you use those. Do you want to move one over? Maybe move over like that. Okay. And that's your turn. Now for lumps. So Lumpy is going to use a blue dice to move here. He's going to use a green dice to move here. So this says now, the river splits here. Go to rec section 214. So a smaller, less dangerous tributary wound down to the flow of the shadowy mouth of a cave. The thought of floating through an unknown cave seemed loathsome, but the rapids were brutal, and the Stuffies knew they wouldn't last long. Okay, so we need to maybe, and then I'll use the purple dice to get up out of the water. I'll treat it like a red dice, and then I will search. Oh. Yes. So I get because I beat the number here, I get to get an item. So I get a sand bucket.
Oh, we got that.
We had that before, so he'll keep that sand bucket because he's kind of needs some stuffing right now. All right, Timothy, you still with me? Stitch. 4 dice. Okay, well.
But he's gone.
So roll this. So he goes 1. So he needs to get out of here.
Stuffing?
Stuffing, okay. Nope, no stuffing.
The stuffing.
Okay, now, what's his ability? Use his ability after rolling dice for Stitch. You may re-roll 1 or more yellow dice. You must keep your second result, okay?
The yellow dice?
Okay, so you want to search? Well, before you search, you need to get out of the water. So,
For Stitch?
yeah, because you're going to get stuck. You're going to get sucked down here, and then we're going to lose another sleep card.
So I'm doing it for Flops?
No, you're doing it for him. So you want to use both the dice, and you can just go 1, 2. You can come into that space there, and now you're not going to be sucked off the map.
The dice?
No, you don't. When you're moving in water, you don't roll the dice. You use 1 dice, you move 1 space. That's it. No, you don't roll. All right, and now we're back to Theodora. One, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so now, when I have 2 white dice for stuffing, and I have 2 stuffing left, it's probably a good idea to roll each one separately. This way I could possibly get 2 stuffings. So 4 exceeds the one I have, so I get 1 stuffing. So now I'm at 3. And now I roll again with this dice, and I get, well, if I got a 3 or higher, I would have got 2 stuffing that turn, which could have been very helpful for her. Poor old Flops is hurting as well. So now Theodora wants to help these trolls. So she needs to make a green agility roll. Well, I say trolls because they're little dolls with pointy hair. So I'm going to trade in the blue dice. Actually, I'm going to hold on to the blue dice for defense, just in case something happens. I'm going to trade the red dice for a green dice, as per her ability here. I can trade 1 dice. So on a 3 or higher, I'm able to throw those trolls where they want to be. Nope, didn't happen. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to use the blue dice rather than saving. I'm going to try and get rid of my worried status. Nope, didn't do that either. Poor Theodora. Okay. Next. Okay. And this is Flops. Oh no, Flops is down here. You know, we've been moving Flops when it was Stitch's turn, so we're just gonna flip those guys around. Okay, so. Alright. So what you gonna do? Now remember, we need to get. I think we need to go down on this side because this is what we're going down here now. So.
What about here?
Well, do you want to go? Okay, you want to check that out? So you need to stop. You need the red dice to get up out of the water.
Okay.
Okay. No, it's fast enough that you don't roll it because when you're moving from water spaces, you just roll the 1. Now you can roll this for moving.
Yeah.
3. So 1, 2, 3, and it has the eyeball with the number 3. Okay, and it says, the Stuffies stood at the edge of an immense forest, its twisting and dark trees growing up into the night sky. Through vines they see among the trees their thick coils barring the way. The only obvious way through was to travel downstream and hope for a trail, but looking up, the Stuffies saw an immense cliff rising from the river's edge. Its face a toothly saw blade of sharp angles. Perched atop the cliff sat a mighty factory fortress with impossible tall smokestacks belching into the sky. What it's saying is we can't go this way, we can't go this way, the only way now is down through there. Okay, now you have 2 more dice.
Here.
Yeah. So do you want to use these for moving or searching, or what do you want to do?
Searching.
Searching, okay. So you need a 4. You got it. Okay, so you get a treasure map. Okay, so the treasure map says, discard this card to look through the item deck for a card of your choice, then shuffle the item deck. Oh, that's nice. So you can, is there something you want? What about the archery set?
Okay.
The archery set gives you +2 to hit and it's range 6. Way better than you.
And I have an archery one.
Yeah, this is what Flops has on the model. Alright, so the video had run out, so we're just kind of resetting a little bit here, back to the point where we were before. This is just after Flops had discovered that there's the cliffs and things, and that the only way out now looks like it's going to be down here. So we are going to continue from that point. So this would be...
what about the top one there? Where's the top side?
No, I know, but that one... Oh, right. So, yeah, because we've already found that one, but Lumpy hadn't made it there yet. Excuse me. So it is Theodora's turn. So she is still soggy, so she's only pulling 4 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're all soggy.
We're all soggy, yeah.
Except.
Okay, so there's 1 more dice
Lumpy,
there.
Right?
Yeah.
But
And
he's
so
soggy again.
Theodora is worried, so she can't use purple dice right now. So she's just going to use those 2 dice to... Oh, wow. double sixes. So she's got rid of her worried. She's not worried anymore. And so she's going to use this to, this dice. No, she's just going to move here with the one dice. We need to get out of here. We're getting dangerously close to losing another sleep card. Okay, Timothy, you're over to Stitch. So we're going to pull 4 dice for Stitch because he's soggy. Nice, okay. So 1 for stuffing. No stuffing. Okay, and then how do you want to use these? Do you want to encourage anybody with those dice?
I would like to do it for...
You going to search? What do you want to search with that one? No, nothing.
Okay.
Now those 2 dice, you can use the blue dice to move 1 space here and get that objective.
Oh.
Okay.
Whee!
And
1. I go 1.
well, now the other red dice. Now maybe Theodora could have this dice. She could run up there and see that.
Okay.
What's there? Okay, thank you. So he's encouraging Theodora to jump up on the ledge, and then maybe Lumpy will help get the other objective.
Okay.
Okay, so when the setup, so with the objectives, okay, so we have one of the 2 objectives claimed right now, and we go on to Lumpy's turn. So Lumpy is still soggy. He just got out of the water last turn, so he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's good. Roll for stuffing. Nope, he doesn't get any stuffing. And let's see. Lumpy is going to. Let's see. He'll search. I roll 5, so I get an item. And the item is a sewing kit. When drawing dice during the draw dice step, any stuffing die drawn is considered a 6 and does not need to be rolled. Oh, nice.
Nice.
So maybe he'll give that one to Theodora because she could sure use it. And then he's going to. He'll give Stitch that purple dice, and then he'll move 2. So he's going to go 1 and 2 into the water, and he's got the last objective.
What happened there? What if we fall?
Okay, and so now when we get the last one, we go to 212. So they stood there, soaked and dripping in shallow water, staring into the shadowy mouth of a cave. The current was weaker, and the stuffies were able to move into the cave, but they noted the river was rising enough to threaten flooding the entire cave. It was time to hatch a plan. If there are no minions in play at the end of any player turn, which this is, and no stuffies have been swept away, which they haven't, you may exit into the cave. If you do, go to page 23, section. Okay, so that's it. So we are now able to leave the map.
What about the talks?
Okay, well the talks, we didn't get to them, so that's okay.
Yep. Got everything in place. It gets scarier and scarier and scarier.
Okay, so here's the new one.
Right?
Right. Okay, the Caves of Forgot. So return all dice to the bags except those that we've saved. So we've got those.
We all have one save, right?
Yeah. The soggy stuffies trudged through the murky water, battered and exhausted. Small outcroppings of faintly glowing crystals helped light the way. I have so much water in my stuffing, I think I might weigh twice as much, Theodora groaned. Why is the water so salty? Lumpy asked as he sprayed it from his long trunk. It's the tear fall, said Stitch, his limp especially pronounced. It's made from the tears of countless crying children. That's horrible, gasped Lumpy. All the poor babies. Oh, it's not so bad, said Flops. We cry when things get bad, but out of that sorrow comes strength. Each time we suffer, we become stronger. That is true, Theodora agreed, but don't forget that sorrow is not only the cause of tears. Joy and laughter may also make us cry as well, and children have known joy and laughter better than anyone. Good point, said Lumpy. You listening? Safe at last, sighed Flops. You wouldn't be so sure, said Stitch. This cave will be underwater soon, and who knows how far the water will rise. We don't want to get stuck on stairs that lead nowhere. I don't think we have said Theodora, but she was cut off as the sound of a baby doll crying echoed through the cavern. Crawlies, Lumpy cried. Reveal a sleep card.
Crawlies.
So sleeping. Each player places her stuffy figure on an adjacent space marked with a pause. Okay, so there's the stuffies. The paws are here.
Alright.
Alright.
I always do this one to
Flops is always on the pause.
Yep.
The rest of us go around it.
Because it's a good one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he could aim, right?
Yeah, and let's see. So we have one thing there. There's a 2 and a 3. Where's the 1? There's nothing for us to see there.
Oh, the studies.
Studies.
Or the stars. There's already one.
Oh, look, there's like a green teddy bear there or something. Oh, there's a 1. Oh, there's a treasure chest.
What's there a teddy bear? Oh, that's for if you fall.
Yeah, this is you can jump across.
Yeah.
And that's a green. So you need a green dice to jump across.
Yeah. But if you don't, and you accidentally go here,
Okay, so
you
number
fall.
of crawlies equal to the number of stuffies in play. So we're going to have all 4 crawlies in.
Wait.
So this is what's called a named encounter. So they're naming the crawlies specifically.
What about this dice?
Listen.
So, what other monsters?
Just crawlies.
Uh,
Okay, so the crawlies.
Hopefully there's just 4 crawlies. Fours, their circle. Crawlies.
Okay, so now there's that leap space. So this is a difficulty 4 to jump across here. If you fall, nothing happens except as specified in the book. Okay, so what now? Special rules, rising water. Each time a threat die is placed on the threat track, move both objective tokens 1 space up the steps. Oh, so these objective tokens are going to move, and this is the water moving up. That's cool. When the water reaches a landing, move the outer token an extra 2 steps to keep the tokens moving together. If the water reaches the top landing, reveal a sleep card. The platform is no longer accessible. Move any stuff on the platform. Okay. Theodora starts.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, we'll start with Lumpy.
Yep.
Because Theodora's better when there's dice in the pool.
Yeah.
Oh, leave that one in there.
Because
Okay,
Lumpy
so-
should train how to be brave.
Yeah, we're all still soggy. Yeah, I'll take that soggy card back. So we're all still soggy.
Oh, why aren't we? But good thing we don't. Good thing
4.
we're out of water
Okay,
for a long time.
4, so I have 3 stuffing. I rolled a 4, so I get 1 more stuffing for Lumpy.
Wait, we usually start with 5, remember?
No, but this is where that's when you start the story, the first chapter in the story. Okay, so then that was done, and then Lumpy is going to. He's going to. What's our search? Our search is 5. I'm just going to run. I want to get up there fast, so I'm going to move 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, I'll go 9 here. I'll interact with this one. Okay, I'll shuffle these up. Okay. Do you want to read that one?
Taking toy bomb.
Eee.
Warning, system failure. Imminent. Cried the robot. Self-destruct in 5, 4, 3. Choice. Do you want to try to defuse the bomb?
Do I want to try and defuse the bomb? Sure.
Okay.
What does it say? Okay.
You do it.
Okay, so perform a yellow skill test difficulty 3. And I still have a yellow dice left over. That's lucky.
We need to make a.
I did it. I defused the bomb.
We needed to make a 3.
Repair successful, says Robbie, and he gives you valuable data. Remove up to 2 threat dice from the threat track. Put all dice in the discard pool back into the bag. Okay, so unfortunately, we don't have any dice here for the threat, but all those go back in, so it's your turn now for flops.
Okay.
And remember, flops can shoot these guys from here, because you've got a range of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can shoot these 2. Okay, so no cheating mosquitoes.
A 4.
4. Ugh.
No.
So 1, 2. The water's moving up. Okay, and
Oh, no.
so now I started my turn not on water, and I ended my turn not on water. So Lumpy's no longer soggy, but now you're starting your turn on water now. So those go in there. That's no good. And
So I can't
you have
hit?
1 green, 1 red. So you can hit if you want, or do you want to? So do you want to roll those with it?
Yep.
So roll no green and green and the purple, because you're shooting your bow. This is only if you're attacking with like hammers or letter openers or something. So you got a 5, and the crawlies have a 5. So you can take off this square crawly here, and he's dead.
Yay. I need another one. I need to make another 5, right?
Yeah.
Range time.
Okay, and that's a button for you for hitting that crawly. Okay.
Yay! I get more. Why
Yeah.
just a lot of pink?
Just what I'm pulling out of the bag. Okay, so that was you attacked with these 2 dice. So do you want to use the red dice for moving?
Mhm.
Okay, so roll that and see how far you can go. Okay, well let's roll it flat on the board. 3. So move yourself 3 spaces.
For flops.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. So I can run away from the water.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
if it goes all the way,
Okay.
but if the water rises all the way to the platform,
If it rises all the way to the tippy top, then we're really in trouble. Then we reveal a sleep card. So we want to be fast. We don't want to waste time.
look, Stitch is checking if the water's rising all the way to them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now it's Theodora's turn.
Theodora,
So that goes there. Oh no, yeah, that's that you use for movement. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so Theodora gets to roll for stuffing, and she gets another stuffing. Okay, so she's back up to 5 stuffing. And now she is going to, I think she will, when drawing dice from the draw bag, any stuffing that, oh, okay. So I didn't even need to roll that because she has the sewing kit, so she can automatically treat stuffing rolls as 6. And let's see, I will trade in this dice for another red dice, and I'm going to run with 2 red. I can go 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the yellow I'll search, needing a 5, and I don't get it. Okay, so over to Stitch. Oh, and now Theodora started not in water, ended not in water, so she's not soggy anymore. Timothy, are you serious?
I don't know why. This is tons of blacks.
Okay, so you got those 2. So first off, it goes 1, 2, so he's underwater again. So he's still going to be soggy at the end of the turn.
Only Stitch.
Only Stitch now. And so what do you want to do with those 2 dice?
Move.
Move, okay? And don't forget you have the purple dice there too. So which one, do you want to use 1 or 2 dice to move?
2.
2? Okay, well if you use two, they have to be the same color. So let's you can use the purple for one of them. So green or blue.
Green. Second was safety.
Oh, you know what? Actually, before you do anything, we need to activate the crawlies. So, because you've got 4 dice here and there's 3 crawlies. So the first crawly is doing a 3, so he's rushing. So he's going to go 6. And this is the normal one, he's the pentagon. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's going to attack Lumpy. And so he's attacking Lumpy for 3 damage. Now Lumpy is getting a +1 to when defending, so he's going to defend with his blue dice. And so he defends 2 of the 3. So
he blocks with his hammer.
Yeah.
Or he uses the
when I
same
use blue dice, I can re-roll for Lumpy. So there we go. So Lumpy protected it all. Each time you defend and block all the damage, he gains 1 heart. So he gained a heart for blocking all that damage. He took no damage from that crawly. Okay, so that crawly's done. The next crawly is the normal one, and he rolls a 4. So this crawly is going clickety. He's going to move 3, and this is this one. He goes 1, 2, 3.
He's normal?
Yeah, and okay, so he didn't attack. So it says if he attacks, he goes back towards his space, but he's not doing that. So he just moved forward and he didn't attack. And then the leader crawly is also doing a click. No, he's doing a rush. So he'll run up here and he'll attack Theodora. So he's going to attack Theodora.
Wait, what about that orange?
The orange isn't going to help. Blue's the only one that helps with when you're attacked.
I've been waiting to do this.
Well, you know, they attack first. So he's attacking, so he's hitting her for 4 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
I rolled.
Okay. Now, all these dice are going to go back in the bag.
Even these?
No, those are yours. So now, you decide. So you're rolling the green dice and the pink dice for movement.
Yep.
Or, remember the green dice can be shooting.
Oh yeah.
So you have that pencil you can shoot.
Yep.
So if you can get close enough. Yeah, range 3.
So I can move with this.
Yeah, so
And then
there you go. So you use those 2 to move.
these.
Yeah, because you're not going to get close enough with just 1 dice. So 11. Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay, so you guys, well, you might as well just stay here, and then you can hit one of those 2 guys with the thing. So don't use that big shot with the pencil because you only get that once all game, and you only have 1 dice right now. So why don't you attack? Well, this will need a 6. This is a 5 or 6. Or you can attack this guy. Who do you want to attack?
This one.
The leader? Okay, you're gonna need a 6. No, that would have missed the other guy anyways. Okay, so nothing happened.
Yeah, couldn't do it.
Okay, so that's Stitch back to Lumpy. Come on, Lumpy.
Come on.
Lumpy's not
He's close
soggy
enough.
anymore.
Yeah, but he's close enough to hit.
Why are there hearts in there?
And
That's 4 and 5. So 5, so unfortunately that means you're going to be soggy again next turn. So Lumpy is going to save 1 blue dice. He's going to
white blocks.
4.
Wait,
2, 3,
Stitch
4.
is out of the water now.
Yeah, well, no, but he started the turn in the water.
Yeah.
So when he starts his turn, it doesn't work.
He's
Okay.
almost trying down.
So Lumpy is going to use one of his hearts to do this ability called Defensive Strike. Use this ability before attacking with Lumpy. Add 1 blue die to your attack roll.
What if it flops?
Oh, that's not going to help. I needed something else.
Dodge.
Oh, once per turn, on your turn, you may swap one of your attribute dice for an attribute dice in the discard pool. So I will trade away this blue dice for this purple dice, and I'll use the purple dice as an attack. And then I'll add the blue die in there as well because I'm allowed to do it with my defensive strike ability on Lumpy. Whoops. And that's an 8, and Lumpy smooshes that Crawly. There's just 2 Crawlies left now, and that's a button for Lumps. Oh, and after defeating a minion with this weapon, I gain 1 stuffing. Okay, good job, Lumps.
Set. I like my archery set.
Okay, and Flops.
Flops.
Oh, and then I still have 1 yellow dice left over, so he will search with that last dice. Nothing. Okay, now it's Flops. Uh-oh.
Oh, what about this first, remember?
So that one, the water's up to the landing now. Okay,
Oh no, he's drowning.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll those so you can get some more stuffing. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a bad roll. That gives you nothing. Okay, and that goes there. Oh, that means the minions are attacking. So the minions, so the normal one, he is doing the clickety again. So he'll go 1, 2, and he's going to attack attack Lumpy. So he's attacking Lumpy for 4. So I don't have any dice left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Lumpy is injured. Yeah, and then he goes 1, 2, 3 back towards the thing again. And then the leader is doing a cry for help. Cry for help. At the end of this minion turn, if there are 1 or more Crawly cards in the discard pile, add 1 of them to the bottom minion column and place his figure adjacent to the Crawly. Oh dear.
He cries for another one.
Yeah, so he cries for another Crawly to come back again. So this Crawly came back.
So one of the Crawlies came back.
Yeah, so he's back here. We're in trouble, Timothy. And he's hitting Theodora for 4. And Theodora can't do anything about it.
What was I saying?
Oh, so hold on. Lumpy got hit for 4. So Lumpy, we use that instead, and instead of losing the, what did he lose? 4, he only lost 2. So he gets 2 stuffing back. And then, now Theodora's being attacked. So Theodora is collapsed. Okay. Now, Stitch. You have that. It's Flops. Is that all you got? Is that one?
Yep.
Okay, go with it. So what are you going to do? You're going to move?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you're here. 1, 2. Do you want to check out that eyeball?
Uh-huh.
Let's see what it is. Okay, 2. Looking down at the rising water, you saw a large shape crest the surface before diving back down. What was that? The large shape did not reappear, but the thought of something lurking beneath is terrifying. You shouted at your friends to hurry and get away from the water. Move each stuffy up to 2 spaces away from the objective tokens. Okay, so,
Right?
well, we can't move anymore. We got these guys in front of us. You can go 1, 2, and you can go 1, 2. Okay, so there's something big and scary under the water. Okay, so it's Lumpy's turn. So this is 5. So Lumpy is going to, first off, he's going to save 1 dice. He's going to use 1 blue dice to give 1 stuffing to Theodora. So she's back up again. He's then going to give a green dice to Flops, and he's going to attack the leader Crawley. Oh, yeah, I got 6, 13. So when I beat a minion, I get a stuffing. So he's got a stuffing back again.
Yay!
And that's another button for that Crawley.
For that Crawley. We're running out of buttons.
No, we got lots. Alright, so that leader Crawley is gone, which is good because he's annoying. Alright, on to Flops.
When are they gonna die?
Alright, now Flops, now this will be the first turn Flops isn't starting in water, so Flops won't be soggy at the end of this turn. Hopefully, unless you pull really badly. So still 4 dice. Very good. Okay, so we'll just roll for your stuffing. 5, so you get 1 more stuffing. Oh wait, hold on, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stuffing. So now you have 6 stuffing. Okay, so that's done. And what would you like to do with these?
Move. Move.
Move? Okay, do you want to shoot first?
Uh-huh.
Okay, who do you want to shoot? This
This
one or this
one.
one?
That
This one closer? Okay.
Because he's so annoying.
Oh, you want to roll 2 dice for that one, so because these guys are tougher. You've got the purple one, you might as well use it. So you have the 1, let's be fair. You don't want to cheat. You rolled a 1, and 3 is 4, plus 2 for your archery set is, what's 4 plus 2?
6.
And to beat a Crawley, you need a 5.
But it was more.
No, yeah, that's fine. You got more. More is better.
Yep.
So you crunched them.
Yep. They went into it to the nest's eye.
Oh, and you still had blue dice. So if you want to use the blue dice, you can move with that now. 5. So move 5 spaces.
And 1, 2.
No, go diagonally. 1, 2. And where do you want to go from there? 3. Just go beside the Crawley. We want to get up there anyway. 4. And 5. Okay, and maybe you can jump across next turn if you can make it.
Yeah. What about if I step there?
We're on the 1?
No, the eye.
Yeah, that's the 3. Yeah, so we'll read the next thing there.
The third one. The
Yeah.
third
Oh, and now because you didn't start in the water, you didn't end in water, you're not soggy anymore.
Yeah. Yay, we're only Stitch is the only one who's
4,
soggy,
5.
right? Stitch
Wow.
is the soggiest.
That's a lot of searching.
What about he's been spending his time behind them. So is he not soggy anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Yay, we're not soggy.
Oh yeah, that's true. He wouldn't be soggy anymore either.
Yeah, he's been spending his time behind
Well,
them.
he's old. He takes a little longer to dry off.
Yeah.
Okay, so Theodora has a lot of things here. I think I'll trade this in for a green. And I'll roll these 2 for movement. Just to make sure. Okay, so she is going to come here. Okay, and then she is going to use her red dice she saved to attack the Crawley here.
From behind.
From behind. Hiya! Gotcha. Okay.
Stop the nest, because it keeps them safe,
And
right?
I get a button for that. Okay, no more Crawleys.
No more Crawleys. But we have to get to the treasure.
I think so. We still have to look at that one, and it might be nice to get over to that one.
You should have
Okay.
put a different.
Oh, and I didn't use the green because I was going to save that just in case it comes back to her.
So it's back for 5.
Yeah, now it's flops. Stitch.
So it's back to 5 again.
Yes, 5 dice. You're pulling 5 dice because you're not soggy anymore. What is with you and those black dice, honestly?
Oh my god, it's like they want to be picked.
Oh yeah, so why don't you roll that white dice, see if you get anything. 2, no stuffing for you. Okay, and now what are you going to do with those dice? What's your ability here? Insight. Use this ability after rolling dice for Stitch. You may always re-roll 1 or more yellow dice. You must keep your second roll. So you can use your yellow dice, you can search.
Oh, distract is a good one, right? It distracts them, right?
Yeah.
Distract.
Use this ability when a normal minion is being activated. You remove a yellow die stored on this card to skip that minion's activation. Oh, that is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should look at those things more carefully.
Yeah. I have one that's very good because it distracts.
I think what we should, in retrospect, I think it would have been better if Timothy and I had just played with 2 stuffies, like 1 each. Having more stuffies just makes it all the more confusing. We're forgetting abilities. Okay, so what are you going to do with your dice? You want to store that yellow one for Stitch? Okay, and then once you move, because he's good when he stores those yellow dice. Okay, so 5. Move Stitch 5.
Oh god, I'm stuck.
No, that's Stitch is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep, that was in this guy's spot.
Okay, and then we're on to Lumpy.
Lumpy's all alone, right?
Yeah, Lumpy's all alone.
So he needs to get to the good old.
Okay, so he didn't get any stuff. Oh, 4. Roll together. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a good thing I did that. I wasn't even thinking. Because that gives him 1 more stuffing. So he's up to 5 stuffing. And I think he's going to roll the green for movement. So he's going to go 1, 2. And he's going to use 1 blue dice to give 1 stuffing to Theodora. Okay, flops. Flops, let's do this.
What is it with me and those dice?
Okay, so, yeah.
What do I need? I'm the only one who gets tons of black dice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Can you pull up a sleep card, please?
A sleep card.
Sleep card.
Restless.
Restless, okay.
Oh, that's not good.
Okay, so let's see. So restless. A pale milky fish with transparent scales emerges from the water. Its eyes were blind and over large, and its gaping mouth opened and closed rhythmically. Everyone fell silent, for they had the eerie impression that the fish was searching for them, and they did not like the sharp, jagged teeth they saw in its mouth. Place a scared card on each stuffy. Okay, so we're all scared now. So because of that restless result, we are now scared because we saw the giant fish in the water.
So those are his movements. What are those X's? There's teeth.
The exit here, that's the water rising.
What? No, these. These pluses are.
Oh, that just shows where the squares are, so we know where we move. Scared, scared, and scared. Okay, so scared says if the stuffy has a die stored, discard it. So we all discard all our dice.
Why?
Because that's what the card says.
Oh, cheater.
Remove this status if the stuffy becomes courageous. Otherwise, remove the status by passing a blue skill test difficulty 4. Okay, so this was flops. So flops, maybe you can move to 3. Okay.
I go 11. Oh, if we want to search, we want to get 5,
Okay,
right?
so 3. They had reached a landing at the atop the stairs and an exit before them, but the way was blocked by a heavy locked grate, and behind them the water was swiftly rising. "We need to get these gates open," shouted Flops. The grate was locked from the outside. Something small, like a mouse, could slip through the bars and release the latch on the other side. If you have seen Squee in your party, you can send them through the hole. If not, okay, so we don't have Squee. So we can bash the grate open with a difficulty of 15.
How do I make 15?
So, okay, well, you roll this dice, and
And it
you
was
can start
6.
bashing through the grate. So, well, no, roll it. Okay. So it's a 5.
5. We
Okay.
need more. Like
So it's
6
Theodora's
is
turn.
enough, right? We need tons.
So Theodora, this is nice. Theodora is going to roll 2 green dice for movement. I'm going to jump across to that thing. So, whew.
You move more.
And it's a difficulty. Oh, so no, sorry. It's how. So the jumping. A green skill test difficulty 4. Okay, so what I'm going to do with the 2 blue dice, then I'm going to move. I'll move 6, and the green skill test of 4, I make it. Okay, so that's those dice. So she's come across. So Theodora's leapt across. So the Stuffies found a colorful box painted like it came from a children's bedroom. Go to section 23.2. You examine the curious box. Its colorful sides had all been painted to depict hot air balloons floating in a sky of bright fluffy clouds. But when you pried the lid open, it wouldn't budge. If you have an item with the keyword pry, skip to. Okay, so because my letter opener has the keyword pry there, I'm able to use it to pry open this chest. So you find Marietta's toy mouse Squee. The mouse sprang to life and squeaked excitedly. It began to tell a tale of how a horrid intruder, like nothing that had been seen before, had broken out there and had grabbed Marietta. Retrieve Squee from the discovery sack and equip it to any Stuffy. Okay, so we go then. This is where the story cards are relevant to the thing. So Squee will never be found unless you're told to get it from the discovery deck in the story. So we have Squee. So I'll give Squee to Flops. Well, hold on, let's see what it says. Once per turn, after successfully searching, permanent to draw 3 just keep winning. Okay, I'll give Squee to Flops.
Yeah.
Because Flops is already at the gate here. So Squee now lets us through the grate. So instead, if we had Squee, we can get through. We don't have to bash it open.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. 23.4. The Stuffies emerged to find themselves deep in the Bumblebum forest. The Bramblebum forest. There was no time to spare. No sooner had they stepped out than it began to spill out. The water began to spill out of the grate. Go to page 27.
Wait.
Ooh, that was scary.
Yeah. What?
Okay. So now we go to the Band of Rubes and encounter that thing. But I think that what we're going to do, we'll leave this one here. If you'd like to see Timothy and I continue this one in our next time together, we can, please leave us messages in the comment sections below. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Like I said earlier, if you want to see Timothy and I finish this mission, this particular story, leave us a message in the comment section below, and we'll be sure to do that. Timothy's got another Stuffy helping us out here. What's his name?
Did I miss anything?
Did I miss anything? Yeah, we seem to have missed an awful lot. So we are going to take some pictures of where we've left off here and continue. Doing pretty badly. We've only got 2 cards left in our sleep deck. So, at any point now our little girl could wake up. So hopefully we do really well in this next one. I don't know how much longer until we finish off this mission, but it's well, even if you wake up the little girl, you still continue on. It's just a different ending than if you had completed it without her waking. So what were your thoughts, Timothy? What did you think of the game?
I don't know.
Timothy is a man of a few thoughts. You don't know what his name is. You don't know what you think of the game. Did you think it was scary?
A little bit.
What were some of the scary parts? No, not too scary. Like you're gonna get really really scared, but just kind of exciting scary.
Like that fish.
The giant fish in the water. That was pretty creepy. I liked how that water just kept getting higher and higher, and we're like running up and up the stairs trying to get away from
And
the.
this part. And look at that statue.
That's a pretty creepy looking statue. Yeah, lots of really neat things for the game. I mean, what I love about this is that every game's just these different things that happen. Like one point you're, running upstairs avoiding water. Another one you're riding a wagon down a hill of toys, and it's just all these crazy things happen. And every one has its own special rules, which are all contained within the page opposite the map, which is such a brilliant concept. We've had a lot of fun playing this game and have a lot to look forward to. So we hope you'll join us with that. So until next time, I'm Craig Thompson-Wood, the board game teacher, and Timothy, the board game student, saying thanks for coming to the classroom.